You've probably felt it before. That quiet emptiness, not sadness, not exactly depression, just this sense that something is off. Maybe you've achieved the job you wanted. Maybe you've found a partner. Maybe you've done everything right. And yet, when you wake up in the morning and stare at the ceiling, there's this whisper. Is this it? Is this my life? It's not burnout. It's not lack of gratitude. It's something deeper. Carl Jung would say, people will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own souls. And that is what this is really about. Because the real reason you can't feel happy is not that you're broken. It's that you've built your life around a version of you that isn't really you. Let's start with a hard truth. We're all born into stories. Stories about who we are, how the world works, and what success means. Your parents had expectations. Society had checklists. And little by little, you learned to fit into them. You became the good student, or the funny one, or the responsible one. Not because those roles were your deepest truth, but because they kept you safe, loved, approved of. Jung called this the persona, the mask you wear to meet the demands of the world. The problem? We forget it's a mask. We start thinking it's us. I once knew a man named Daniel. On paper, Daniel had it all. A 6-figure salary, a wife who adored him, a sleek apartment in the city. And yet, every weekend, Daniel would find himself scrolling endlessly. Unable to focus on anything, he told me, I feel like I'm living someone else's life, but I don't know whose. He wasn't depressed. He was misaligned. His life was orbiting around his persona, not his self. Jung's depth psychology says there's a part of you that's ancient, instinctive and whole. He called it the self, the totality of who you are, both conscious and unconscious. The persona is just the surface. It's like the profile picture you choose for the world to see. But beneath that is a wild, unedited, full-color reality. Your creativity, your fears, your desires, your contradictions. And when your life is built around the mask instead of the self, something inside you starts to revolt. Not with loud protests, but with quiet numbness. That's why you can't feel happy. Happiness is the language of alignment. Think of it like wearing someone else's shoes every day. They might look good. They might even impress people. But they'll slowly ruin your feet, and you'll stop noticing the pain because it becomes normal. That's what happens when you live as your persona for too long. The pain becomes background noise. We live in an age where the persona isn't just encouraged, it's amplified. Social media turns the mask into a personal brand. LinkedIn becomes the resume version of your soul. Instagram becomes your highlight reel. We curate, we filter, we perform, and slowly the mask starts to feel more real than what's underneath. But here's the twist. Your unconscious self, the part Jung says is connected to your deepest purpose, doesn't care about likes or titles. It wants authenticity. It wants wholeness. And if it doesn't get it, it will sabotage your perfect life through subtle unrest, chronic boredom, sudden irritability, loss of meaning, the feeling of being a stranger in your own skin. You might recognize this. You're at a party, people are laughing, drinks in hand, music in the background, and out of nowhere this wave hits you. I don't belong here. I don't even know why I came. It's not social anxiety. It's the self-whispering, this isn't you. Jung believed the ultimate task of a human life is individuation, the process of integrating all parts of yourself into a unified whole. It's not about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you were before the world told you who to be. The privilege of a lifetime, Jung wrote, is to become who you truly are. Individuation means recognizing the persona without being trapped by it, meeting your shadow, the hidden parts you've repressed, listening to dreams, symbols, and intuitive signals from the unconscious, building a life that reflects the self, not the mask. This is dangerous work, because when you start to live from the self, you might have to dismantle the life you've built. You might have to disappoint people. You might have to walk away from comfort. But the reward is that quiet, unshakable contentment that no amount of external success can touch. If you've felt that persistent hollowness, start here. 1. Notice the cracks in the mask. When do you feel most fake? When do you feel most alive? These moments point toward your true self. 2. Meet your shadow. Journal the thoughts you shouldn't have. Notice the traits in others that trigger you. They might be disowned parts of you. 3. Pay attention to longing. Not fleeting desires, but the things you've secretly wished for since childhood. 4. Create small acts of authenticity. Say no when you mean no. Wear what feels like you. Let someone see your unfiltered opinion. 5. Listen to your dreams. Jung saw dreams as letters from the unconscious, direct messages from the self. A woman I know had a recurring dream about a locked room in her house. When she finally began therapy, she realized the room symbolized an entire part of her identity. She had shut away her creativity. Within a year, she had left her corporate job and started painting again, not as a career move, but as an act of alignment. She told me, "Mud, for the first time in years, I feel real." Here's the part that might sting. If you're living for your persona, you can achieve everything at once and still feel nothing, because the persona's desires aren't yours. They're borrowed from parents, peers, algorithms. You might have been chasing someone else's definition of success for 10, 30 years, and the tragedy isn't that you haven't reached the destination. It's that you've been running in the wrong direction entirely. But here's the hope. The self never dies. It waits, patiently, like a seed buried under concrete. And the moment you crack the pavement, even just a little, it will start to grow. If you've been feeling numb, don't rush to fill the void with noise. Sit with it. Ask yourself, who am I when no one is watching? What would I do if there were no expectations? What mask am I afraid to take off? Because I don't know who I'll be without it? The real reason you can't feel happy might be that you've been playing the wrong role in your own life, but you can change the script. You can walk off the stage. You can go backstage and meet the person who's been waiting in the shadows all along. Because when you finally live as yourself, not the mask, happiness isn't something you have to chase. It's something that quietly, deeply, just is.